Hey, good morning. It's Sunday morning and quite early. 6:30. Well, I guess half the morning's gone. Hey, I have been very busy working on this place. I'm getting into the last corner, which is here. Just about got everything tore out of there. I'm taking everything out, then putting back what's needed. But I got this set up good over here where I can function. I figured this out for my Morse taper tube stuff that I need. I got a rack over there I put stuff in. So I got my collet chucks for this 10EE here. I usually use collet chucks rather than drill chucks in this machine. And I've got everything wiped down with kerosene. It'll look nice. Let's take a tour through here. Now I got these wood grates to stand on, and they're working just fantastic. It's just really nice on my old feet. Okay, so here's here's some of my shelving. I've got one more to put down here. It's going to be sticking out a little bit. I'll get the wood set up for that. But this is what I got from my 50 taper stuff, which is kind of hard to deal with, really. So I got some pretty close to round holes in there. That stuff's heavy. Then I put some grooves on the edge here so stuff doesn't roll off. Yeah, I think that's kind of nice. I found that some piece of this stuff will sit in this metal shelving that goes on the pegboard. So that's all working out. This is my end mill, drill bit, and lathe tool. I have to go through all of this and put it sharpen it on the cutter grinder and put away. But I got the cutter grinder set up really good, and it's looking good. Got it all cleaned up, and it needed it. No, I'm always looking at cutter grinders. And they've got, I don't know, half a dozen of these things on HGR for $300. But I tell you, if the ball bearings in the table in those ways are not good, and you can't really ship them without taking the table off or blocking it up, getting that table off those ball bearings. I'll show you that real quick. Here's you see, it's on ball bearings. And it's just not going to take a truck ride, you know. Some truck rides are pretty rough. They could shake the screws out of anything, you know. It'll just, bang those balls into those ways and trash it out. So I don't know. These things are kind of difficult to buy, to buy used, unless you get one from a machine tool dealer like I did this, got a working machine that was known to be good. But anyway, there's one on HGR that I thought was pretty cool, and they want a whole bunch of money for it. And I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe it is. It's a newer one, Hypeco or something. It's on this style. They did all kinds of modifications, which is really cool. These machines lend themselves to. I've got a photo somewhere of a local guy took one of these and built a belt grinder, and he can surface metal on the table using a belt grinder. And but this one on HGR, it was a tilt head one, had a router fixed up here. you know, and you can just do so many different things with it. And one of the cool things it had, this has the controls in the back. Newer Cincinnati's will have knobs up front here too, which is kind of convenient. But these old ones are kind of cool, and you can tell the old ones because they got this cavity opening here, and the later ones they'll have a panel across that with the electrical buttons. You know, they did away with that. But this is a very old one, and the head doesn't tilt its belt drive from the bottom to the top. But there's so many things you can do with these machines. I better lock that. I'm going to bang it into something. This is like a planetary gear setup. Let's see if I can get that in. There we go. When it's locked like that, you can't move the table very far. And there's a lock down here too. Where's it? Oh, it's way on the other side. I'll show you some of this. On the cutter grinder, just kind of look around at the machines. There's a lock here too, but all it does is lock the handle, and then there's still slop. So if you want to, bang my head in the drill press, but not too hard. If you want to lock the table, there's kind of a cool way to do it here. Let me back this up. Yeah. You see the table stops here? I'll back it way up. The table stop here. So I can pull that loose. Then this will, let's see if it'll go over without hitting the head. Yeah, it does. Yeah, just barely. See, there's a stop down there, and this screw will hit that and stop. Okay, well, you can take this, push this in, and then load against this, see? Put a little bit of load. Usually these have springs in it. These things are missing. These are quick homemade things that are still on there. But you can load this, then the table's locked, solidly locked, and that way you can do cutoff, you know. Locking the table any other way is not going to do it. It'll still jiggle back and forth. So with the springs, I got a little piece of rubber there. You can actually, you know, get within your thousandths or whatever and have a load on the table and do precision cutoff or precision work where you need the ball bearing table fixed solid. So that's one way to do it. You can do, you know, bring this one on over and load it against the stop too. Okay. Now on this one, I added, this is made in Sweden. It is HMH. And this was sold by Inco years ago, and they were sold by Weldon. And you can use these on lathes and all kinds of things. It's a Travidile, and it reads to 5 inches, I believe, here. And then it's got a vernier here. You can read in the thousands. There's no other way to know what your table position is, unless you don't use dial indicators. So that's kind of how these things are. This is like the oldest version, and or older version. There was older ones in this, you know, that probably overhead belt drive. But this is an early one here. It's kind of underpowered, but it's kind of been okay for me because I don't get in too much trouble with it. But one of the problems with these cutter grinders is finding a good work head. And one of the guys mentioned to me that been into this a long time. He says, if you think about a Cincinnati tool and cutter grinder, find a good workhead, then the grinder. You know, there's no sense buying a grinder if you can't find the accessories. And the accessories seem to disappear and go for high prices. And then there's the problem of getting a bad workhead. And I've been through like 3 of them to get this one. You know, this is one of those things where you don't take the bearings apart and think you're going to, we got to take the head apart and clean the bearings and think you're going to put it back together and grind milling cutters with it. This is the bad lesson learned is on this. I was informed not to do that, and I haven't. But I've come across workhead. Well, that camera shut off again, and I was talking about the tool and cutter grinder. And I got sidetracked on that one from HGR and things you can do. Well, they took and hooked a pulley on here, and it looked like a servo motor or something, and a controller. So they had power feed. And they had a router up here. They had workheads. They were doing all kinds of things with it. I think they even had a digital readout on it. I don't know. But that's the neat thing about the tool and cutter grinder is it's so versatile. You can modify it for your use. And you often don't see it, you know. Kind of what you see is the tool and cutter grinder stripped down to nothing. That's kind of what the situation seems to be with them. There's really, I think, a lot of good reasons to have a tool and cutter grinder, and I don't think that's changed over the years that I've had it. Even though that carbide inserts are available and in so many flavors, sizes, you know, you don't need a tool and cutter grinder pretty much if you want to buy everything. And there could be a supply chain problem, and you run into other obstacles too. And often the only thing you can do is hand grind high-speed steel to get around some things, and sometimes that doesn't work all that well. And it's really nice to be able to braze carbide blanks onto a piece of steel and make that custom threading tool or bore and bar or something like that. I can show you one real quick. I'll go get it. I think Brown and Sharp wanted you to buy their accessories exclusively. The thread here is 2¼ inch by 4½ sharp V thread, and I didn't have an insert that would cut that. And I tried some high-speed steel, and it just was really horrible cutting, and I wanted to speed it up, and I actually did this in the Monarch 10EE and on this back plate here, and I've got it drilled for multiple I can do multiple things with this. I can attach that collet chuck to this back plate, and I can attach something else to it I'm not thinking of. But anyway, this is what I had to come up with to cut that this internal thread here, and it, you know, to do the full profile. And I just took and crudely brazed that piece of carbide in there and ground it on the cutter grinder. I could have done all that by hand, but I'll tell you what, machine sharpened tools work in real difficult situations. And actually, this is a big bite for that 10EE to do that. And but it did it. And it's a better job for this Axelson here. And that is complete and done, like this milling machine. I still got a few things to do on it, but they're minor. The jig bore is solidly working, and the cutter grinder is in tip-top shape. You know, the videos that I've done done nothing but improve this machine, and I've got even all of the little locks replaced. See? I got deluxe knobs on this. This is a neat attachment here. It does a lot of things. I'm gonna be demonstrating that. And I got the fabulous Monarch 10EE in tip-top running condition. I've got a good spot there. I can stand on that grate there. It's real comfortable. And whip parts out. Everything's within reach. I don't use as many variety of tools on this, but I don't use a lot of carbide inserts on this one. The Axelson, I use a lot of carbide inserts. This one here is more of a workhorse machine, but it's really quite accurate. I'm very, very surprised. But this thing here is, it's a precision instrument. Yeah, that's all there is to it. So this is my overview here. And I got some of the lights turned off. I added more lights here. I can turn on when needed. When everything's on, it's just too bright. And that's good. You know, I can pour light on where I need it. Like I can, see, click that one on, and these two here. And it really lights it up. I think I got them all on, but I like to tone it down a little bit. So I just about got this totally done. And you know, I guess something like this is never totally done, but that's the last thing I'm tackling. That corner there. Everything, I'm taking everything out. Then I got the shelf up here, and I got to deal with that jeweler's lathe up there, that little leaven, and get that all going again. And I don't know. I got junk that might fall on me over there, so I got to deal with that. But that's my overview of stuff. I hope you're all doing good. There's that cup of coffee. Oh, you know, it takes a lot of time. I'm surprised how much time it takes. I need two of me. But this is a lot more functional. Got a place to put these tools. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will be back. I'm gonna likely go on a road trip, so that might be fun. Yeah, that looks good. I'm very happy with this little setup, as cramped as it is. Now, that drill press, I'm gonna slide it up here, and I'm gonna add a roof over it, and go that way for a while. But I want to do to that drill press what I've done to this horizontal mill and this old Axelson lathe here. I want to, you know, give it the same treatment, and I think that drill press will look just as good as this Axelson. About the same vintage anyway. These 40s machines are going very, very cheap. I watch some markets on lathes and mills and things like that, and this older stuff it'll fit into what I want to do. Restoring old stuff, and it's kind of neat using these old machines. But the machines that you can really make money with are really going down in price too. So it's kind of, I think everything seems to be going down in price except for a Bridgeport, But I've run into a couple of good deals on Bridgeports, but they're probably ones that most people wouldn't be interested in. Older ones with the 36-inch table. But I've seen a couple of those for a really good price. One of them is like hadn't been used, but it's like stained black. And I don't know what kind of atmosphere causes cast iron to turn black, but I've seen that a couple of times. Everything's good on the machine, but it's black. I don't know if I could take that on. But I can accommodate everything I got outside by just going a little bit that way. So I'm pretty encouraged about that. And I'm doing a little bit of a grinding room downstairs in the basement, and then I'll have the sun and hone and my Herrick grinder and a little workspace there. That will be nice. Oh, this old jig bore, sure. It's just been a great machine, and it's still got a lot of life in it. Well, okay. I'll load this rambling video, and I hope you're all doing good, and have a good week. I'll get back when I can. Bye-bye.